Well, former Bagram and Guantanamo detainee Muazzam Beg says accountability is a key problem in the wake of the CIA torture report. Beg was released without charge after nearly 3 years in custody, first in Afghanistan's Bagram base, then in Guantanamo. He says he was beaten there and deprived of sleep. Now, Beg's now living in the UK. He's appeared on this programme many times before. He's campaigning for the rights of detainees. Let's cross to him in Birmingham live now and get his thoughts. Adam Muazzam, nice to see you tonight. How close do you think the cooperation really was behind the scenes, as you see it, between the US and the UK? And could it have been that the UK didn't know about the majority of this?
No, they were both working hand in glove. I was at every leg of my journey, whether it was being held in Pakistan by the Secret Intelligence Services along with the CIA, or whether it was at Bagram or Kandahar, which were US military detention sites, or in Guantanamo. I was interrogated by the MI5 and MI6 agents more times than I can remember. And so were the 15 other British citizens or residents, all interrogated by them. In fact, the one who's still there, Shakar Amr, he maintains that his head was repeatedly smashed against the wall in the Bagram facility in Afghanistan while MI5 agents looked on. So we have no doubt in our minds at all that the British intelligence services were completely involved at every level. And a couple of years ago, actually, a criminal investigation, the first time in British history, began of the MI5 and MI6 agents. You had British police officers going over to Libya, going over to Guantanamo, speaking to us over here, taking testimony from us in relation to what we saw and witnessed from these agents. So it goes right to the top, and there's simply no denying that Britain was involved.
Muazzam, of course, you were mentioned specifically in this Senate report. It says that information obtained from you under torture did, in fact, help the CIA, under torture by the CIA, I must say, help British intelligence catch the Al-Qaeda's top UK operative. Is that fact, i.e., it justifies why you were held there because it helped track down criminals?
Well, I know I've seen that report, and I think it's just a complete falsity, and I'll tell you why. It says that a picture was drawn based upon what I had said, and that picture was then taken and used as intelligence. The truth is that I have no idea what the individual looked like, and under torture you'll say absolutely anything in order to get people off your back. Let's remember, these people...
So that mention of you in the report is false, yes?
Well, no, the mention of me is correct, but
what they got from you?
Yes, yeah. What they got from me was from I'm trying to explain to you under which circumstance. They had me in a room with my hands tied behind my back to my legs. They were punching and kicking me. They had a hood placed over my head, and then they lifted the hood up and waved a picture of a woman and children in front of me and said, while there was a sound of a woman screaming next door, which they led to me to believe was my wife being tortured. Then they said that if you don't cooperate with us, we'll send you to Egypt or to Syria. Now, at the end of this process, that's when I said, OK, I'll cooperate, I'll do whatever you want, I'll sign documents, and I did. And this is what numerous people have done in US military custody.
Just for me to get this straight, did you or did you not lead them to capture Al-Qaeda's top UK operative? Did you know who this person was?
No, I didn't. I didn't know at all. What I did is that they asked me to draw. They asked me to define or to do this sort of a photo fit type thing. And I have no idea at all what he looked like, but nonetheless, at least it got them off my back. And so these are sorts of things I think many people did. It wasn't just me.
The UK officials say if any information was held back, as far as they're concerned, from the Senate report, it would only have been if it happened in the interests of UK security. Fair point?
Well, you don't know, because when they say this, they've argued these cases before that in relation to UK security, let's not forget, this was torture. This was cruel, abusive, inhuman and degrading treatment that was taking place. And so whatever was gleaned out of that situation, they can argue now and say, yes, this is what helped to thwart attacks and to catch people and so forth. The truth of it, the truth is much more sinister, in that people were being tortured in ways that at least the Americans have come clean with it. Britain has still remained silent at best. And at worst, they're simply covering it up by saying that we're going to have these torture inquiries, we're going to have these investigations, and in reality, nothing has come of it. In fact, the inquiry that your report was talking about, the judge-led inquiry by Peter Gibson, was then handed over to the Intelligence and Security Committee, which itself oversees the MI5 agencies and so forth. So it's essentially MI5 policing itself. So we can't expect any great deal of transparency coming out of that.
Muazzam Beg, thanks for your time today. Muazzam Beg, the campaigner for the rights of detainees and, of course, former prisoner at Bagram and Guantanamo detention camps. Thank you, sir.